10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The DM. I know. It's amazing. Hi. Hello everyone and welcome back to Astrial, a homebrew campaign created by yours truly, and it is the sequel to The Creation. So last session, the party managed to successfully get through the second trial and the third trial, and then they discovered basically there was something at the end which was the artifact that they were looking for, but it wasn't really an artifact that they were expecting, as it turned out to be two mysterious scaly eggs. Now they have picked them both up, very heavy, but Zura has managed. They also encountered a guardian that seemed to have been protecting these eggs for probably millennia. Now, when they left the area, they went up through a passage that they discovered that led them to a secret tunnel that exited out into one of the rooms in the main area. As soon as they opened up the door, they discovered there was a rogue party known to the Hirsch. And yeah, they ended up getting into a fight, the Hirsch firing the first shot, charring one of the party members' faces completely. And once they had dealt with that, they recuperated, talking to the guardian that seemed to have appeared in the center of the room. And that is where we start off. Hello!
Hi!
Two of the players are going to be both late.
No, one of them's here.
One of them is here now? Okay, good.
Whack.
That's good. So it's just the
Hey!
Kirsch, aka Nerdburger. And your dog is harassing the cat.
Milo, come here! Come here, baby boy!
Are you
Sit!
referring?
No more.
But yeah. How are we all?
Dead. Wanna die.
I've been stabbed.
Oh.
I
Okay.
just purposely wanted to say that first, just so that way we could all establish everyone is fucked.
So to say,
I have a hangover, which absolutely sucks, so I don't think I'm going to be on for much.
I woke up an hour ago from a nap that I went to sleep at, like 2:30, wasn't it?
yeah. Long story short, everybody is effed in their own way for their own reason.
I've been medically stabbed.
I don't know what I am.
You have
You have
hungover.
too much.
I'm everything.
Mel, did you get into the wine again?
I got into the what's it called? The rum, and had a lot, and let's just say I drank like 2 really generous helpings of rum
Mel.
very quickly.
Mel.
Girl's really low in her
exhausted.
constitution.
Yeah, right. Mel gets a,
And there's a lot
debuff
more
now.
mentally going on too, which is oof.
My appendix decided to make itself known, and now it's cut out, so I'm missing a part of my organs now.
I'm just overexhausted because I like to push myself.
Everyone has taken a few hits before the session, so our characters will be more in health than we will be, which is interesting. At least to begin with.
Over the eggs.
Characters have exhaustion without actually having exhaustion.
Yeah.
So,
I can't see the like screen thingy, so I'll do as much as I can. But if I feel like shit, I'm gonna leave.
Okay, that is reasonable. We're just gonna hear Mel just conk out halfway through the session.
You're just gonna hear me snore.
No, we're just gonna hear you hit your keyboard.
Oh, I got no
Someone
keyboard. I'm
cast
on my
prolonged
iPad in my
sleep.
bed.
On Ruby has got a sleep spell on her that will activate at a random time.
Mel has to roll a d6.
How is she gonna roll? She's asleep.
Exactly.
I can't even roll any. Wait, I can roll. I think I'll try on my phone. Let's see. And then I got D&D Beyond on my phone. Let's see what happens.
So
I
I'm
didn't
gonna roll
actually see
for
it.
her when she like conks out. Let's do it that way.
I want to see if you see it on your side. Like, give me a moment. It's just opening up.
To the party when we're all effed.
I was tempted to have more, so that I felt a little better.
That's not how it works.
Exactly.
Because I got the same drink at home.
right. So, last
Oh
session,
shit! Dang it, so long.
you guys had successfully passed both the second trial and the third trial. Reaching the end, you discovered a single lonely tree that was illuminated by the sun on half of it and complete pitch black darkness on the other half. Looking at the pedestals in front of this tree, there were two scaly eggs, one of pure white and the other a pure black. When trying to cross this little moat around it that seemed to have a luminescent glow when walking through it, basically the guardian that was protecting it seemed to throw threatening commands to anyone that wasn't Azura, who was holding the statue. Azura, picking up these eggs, became the new protector of the eggs. And then you guys escaped through one of the secret tunnels that you guys discovered, leading out into one of the trial rooms for the first trial. And in that trial room was basically the band of adventurers that was known to the Hirsch. Fighting through these this adventure group, they apparently were wanting the artifact that Azura had as Tim what's his full name?
Nightblade or something.
Nightblade, yeah. Tim Nightblade wanted to acquire the artifact as he saw Azura hide it behind her back. Now, after a simple, quick fight that seemed to make them retreat, Tim Nightblade swore that they will be back for one of the eggs. Or the artifact, I should say.
I don't know about the other one.
Yeah. And yeah. So, you have all started chatting with the Guardian that had appeared in the center of the ruins. And the Hirsch has gone off to nap, which is actually kind of perfect, seeing he's currently not here. So yeah, you are all discussing with the Guardian basically what's going on. So, with that, let's get started.
Very quick, out of character. I rolled a Constitution. Can you see it?
Maybe? It's probably on.
I don't know.
Alright, so it was an 8, and you know how bad I am right now.
Yeah, we can see it on D&D Beyond. All good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm beyond. Yeah, you can see it there.
So, for Black Knight, you are still being held by the Guardian, by like the scruff of your neck, and for Azura, you are still holding this egg. It feels slightly warm to the touch, but yeah, it was the white one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the black one's in her bag, the white one's in her arms.
Yeah. Alright. Role play away.
So
So cut out, I think.
I've just paused it in my own head. I'm trying to think of what to say.
Right.
You guys weren't in the room while I was having this discussion last time. So we're now basically co-parenting these eggs.
I think how to respond. Correct, but you are more the new protectors of the egg.
So like your job, but like on the outside.
Correct.
Any special requirements that we should know about before doing so?
None to be specified, but do try to keep them safe from harm.
Do they need to be warm? Do they need to be cooled? What do they need?
Does one need to be kept in the light and one need to be kept in a dark place?
No. They
Okay.
will hatch in time.
You know
Understood
how long
the
it
matter.
could be?
Yeah, is it like a 9-month thing or?
They will hatch in time.
Mm.
Okay.
No, doesn't sound like we're gonna get much more than that.
But
Nice.
nonetheless, I promise to protect them, as we just clearly did before in the room just before.
That goes towards all of us.
And like it basically turns its head towards the room that you guys just like came out from, and then like basically you see like this visor. Previously it was like a glowing white, now turns into sort of like a red mainly around like the eye slits, and it's still got the white glow below. And it scans around the room, and then it slowly fades back to that full white glow. Interesting. They seem to have after the eggs. Please look into this for me.
Well, but Hirsch knows more about it than us.
The Dragonborn.
Yes.
Well, at least about those guys, I don't think he looked equally as confused as us when we went into the room before, I think.
Fascinating.
Like, he specifically was not happy to see that party.
Yeah, I think it's best we speak to him about it once he returns.
He wakes up? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Once he wakes up.
He's very sleepy.
I do not blame him.
Also, would you like me to grab the cat that you are currently holding suspended above the ground?
Oh, right. I am still holding the cat. I had completely forgotten. And like slowly starts to put it down.
Like, hold my arms out towards Black in like a very like not really wants to grab the manner, but will.
Black's just gonna, like, as soon as, like, the Guardian lets go of Black's just gonna instantly try to climb back up.
Okay, like, I'm gonna try and grab you off the Guardian.
Yo, go ahead!
Alright, give me a sec.
So, like,
should
what
I-
role is that?
Is that an athletics or acrobatics?
So, like, I'm gonna say it would be opposed. So, acrobatics for Black, and then athletics for DeBrew.
Fuck.
That's a fun.
Sorry, I gotta use D&D Beyond for it. It's not working on my laptop.
As I recommended, download that browser extension.
Yeah, so that was athletics for me?
Mhm.
Yeah, sweet. I got 11.
Yep, you easily pick up, like, Black Knight.
I got the wriggling. Okay, how about let's leave the big ass golem alone?
Black just hangs there and just looks grumpy.
I will now be cleaning these ruins.
Hold me.
Any
Oh, so
current man-made structures will be left unchecked unless you require me to clean the man-made structures.
Oh, so like, hang on. We've got a couple of archaeologists here. They okay to be in here?
Like, you can see the same sort of, like, red eyes glow up again, and then, like, they scan over, like, the bedding, like, the sleeping bag there and stuff like that. A male of the age of 32 and a female of the age of 31. They will be fine as long as they are verified.
Can we verify them?
Affirmative.
Well, then they're verified.
The party that was here prior
Verifying.
isn't.
Now confirmed.
Okay. Do you see traces of another party in the previous room that we were in?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the photos they sent me of, like, the AI generated, like, anime, like, picture to anime. And that last one stays.
It's for the DM.
I'm just gonna, like, copy that and put it into the server real quick. Check it out on the Discord.
Which of the 50 channels?
Photo sharing. That's amazing. Anyway, as you're saying.
Could you pick up the traces of the other party that was here?
That would be very helpful.
The other party, the one
There was an elf, a halfling, a Goliath, and a person, and a human, right?
correct.
Yes.
Yeah, they are not verified.
There was a small halfling, a elf, a Goliath, and a humanoid.
Yeah, they were trying to obtain the eggs, and they are not verified.
I have already processed them as unverified.
Okay, sweet. Because we have a feeling that they may try and follow us and try and take the eggs and stuff.
Affirmative. If they are seen around my rune again, I will show lethal force.
Where is it? While we're not in the ruin, could you assist the archaeologist in studying the temple and maybe help fix it up and stuff like that?
I am sworn to keep the ruins in a neat and fashionable state. A neat and what's the word? Clean state.
Oh, does that include repairs?
Affirmative.
Alright. They might want to have, like, repairs done to the place while they're here, so yeah, that's good. Help
I
them
can
with
provide
their
as much
study.
information as I acquire.
Alright. Sweet.
I'll now
Can we let them
continue to my cleaning duties, and it basically the sword that it was holding in the ground, it brings it up, and then suddenly it turns into a golden light and just vanishes before your guys' eyes, and then rotates and basically summons what you guys would call a dustpan. But it's the size of this construct, and then basically starts sweeping it into it, and as it's basically sweeping it into all these stones into the dustpan, basically it's incinerated immediately.
I'm gonna turn to Azura. We should probably think of getting something for both the eggs to sit in that isn't obvious that we have 2 eggs.
Yeah,
You will
it'd be
acquire
exciting.
a satchel bag soon.
How soon?
Affirmative.
Look, but can you tell
we
us
asked
how
the question, you
soon?
just said yes.
The parents will give you a satchel to maintain the
Wait,
eggs.
the parents?
Affirmative.
Okay. Who are the parents?
Ooh, that's a tough question. It would know the names, but
We glorified nannies.
it's against its protocol to mention the names. The parents of the children. The children of the new age, I should say.
Oh, that answer helps us.
I said nothing. Okay, so I guess until then we'll just look after them to the best of our ability. Do you want to maybe swap them between the bags so as they're not always with the same person every day?
I mean, I'm more than happy to let someone look after the white one for now. Because the black one, carrying them both is actually quite heavy.
Yeah, these are not white eggs.
I feel like I can really just carry them both and all.
With Azura's strength, she can only just carry him. And she's got a strength of 18.
That's carrying both of them.
I can hold one of them if you want, and you can keep holding on to the black one if you want.
That sounds good to me. With that, she'll hold out the white one.
I haven't created items yet because I haven't been able to.
But the game is paused on my screen. Is it on yours?
You're currently not in the game, so it would be refresh. I'm gonna create an egg right now, actually.
I was gonna say,
the eggs!
at least they don't know about the white egg. Well, they didn't seem to know about the white egg.
I think they didn't know about the black egg. The black egg was in your bag.
Right. They didn't know about the black egg, but they know about the white egg.
Yeah.
So we should try and keep it that way.
Yes, so make them think we've got one, not the other.
Exactly. If we always keep that one on show, then they at least wouldn't even think about that there could possibly be another one.
Shall we get the satchel from the parents of whoever they are? Do you have something that you can like put over the top of it in your bag so it doesn't look so obvious if someone were to look through it?
Oh yeah, of course, that's easy. Yeah, she'll rearrange her bag a little bit. Being careful with the egg.
Sweet. Debris gonna take off his like scarf that's around his like his poncho around his shoulders and wrap the white egg up in it and put it into his bag, and like rearrange his bag as well.
Perfect. That should be both eggs nice and secure for now.
And warm, hopefully.
Well, the construct did say that there was no requirements on having to have them warm or anything.
Yes,
So...
but they are babies. I'm gonna look up to the babies.
Look, when I was a baby, I had to be kept cold. So...
Yeah,
Which is why I asked the
touching
constructors.
the white egg, it's warm to the touch, but touching the black egg, it's cold to the touch.
I'm gonna give this one warm.
It's probably why Zora likes the black egg, because it's cold.
The Brit's like holding his bag close to his chest. He's already let go of Black, by the way. I haven't been holding Black the whole time.
Alright, I just gave you the black egg, Azura, and I will give you the white egg now on the brew.
Yay! I have the red egg. I have the chicken. We should probably let our archaeologist friends know what's going on before heading off.
I can alert them to your leaving.
Yeah, well, Pahesh is asleep, so we probably... Yeah.
Yeah, we should wait around anyway, because the hedge is asleep. I think it would be good idea if we take at least a short rest or something.
Yeah. I'd rather do it within the ruins now. Maybe we should grab our stuff from outside and then do it in here, so as we've at least got our guardian here while we rest.
That sounds good to me.
You're right, Ruby. But man, Raki is sleepy.
Oh no, she's going to sleep already.
She's going to sleep already.
So tonight's going to be a party between you and I, Saf. Let's go.
And Blue and where the fuck is Lucinia?
Yeah, where is Lucinia?
Oh, I went outside already.
Oh shit.
Lucinia's just having a ball.
We're just like discussing who's gonna look after which kid.
I used my passive sneak to walk away slowly.
I wasn't even looking at Forge in all
It
honesty.
was a successful passive sneak, so even I didn't notice.
Also, where's Lucinia? I feel really bad. I haven't really been talking to them much.
What was that?
I was just saying that. Okay, I'll just speak normally because I can't do Debru's voice currently. I was just wondering where Lucinia was and stuff. Like I know where Pahesh and Black and all that are, but where's Lucinia?
Basically, in the tent outside.
Yeah, I just left it out.
Lucinia!
Yeah, Zora will follow.
Just gonna move Noah's token because she hasn't. Keeping her distance, of course, from a certain someone.
Yeah, angry that I gave the egg over to the brew.
Yep, she'll definitely be pissed about that.
Ash is asleep, so
Yeah. You can just hear loud snoring from that tent.
question: should we leave Ash out here since we can actually sleep in the temple?
Yeah, we shouldn't disrupt him when he's having a nice sleep.
Also, the fact that he sounds like
Yes, jump
Oh.
into the fire, Blue. It's a beautiful fire. Very warm.
very
Yeah.
bright, shiny light, like laser pointer.
Zora'd keep a distance from
Zora
it. Doesn't like
sure.
fire.
Lucinia, are you in your tent?
What's all the racket out here?
We're thinking of maybe sleeping within the temple because of the construct will be able to look after us during the night
Hmm,
before we head off tomorrow.
That does sound like a better idea.
Yeah, although we're kind of thinking of leaving Vahesh out here because he sounds like a rock slide.
That's... Hmm.
Yeah, but
It's a good idea, though. Should we not?
we can drag him in and just put him in a different room and lock the door.
I am trying to move my token, but it's not. Hmm. Are you sure it's a good idea to... It's definitely a good idea to sleep inside. But
I don't exactly know about leaving someone outside, even though they snore really loudly.
exactly right. Mainly because they snore very loudly.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna try and pull him out. If you want to help me, can if you wanna. Or you can just head in and get ready to sleep.
The snoring gets louder.
Maybe leave him out here. It may echo inside. Yeah.
What if we put, you know, that room that had the dark thing in it?
Yes, but didn't that light up?
Yeah, it's lit up now, but if we put him in that room and then sleep in the one adjacent from that, maybe it won't affect us that much.
Perhaps. There we go.
We could also like put some like extra padding around like the door frame.
Yes, we could do that.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Let's do that. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Although it depends on how heavy he is.
I mean, I can try and grab him from his torso, and you can take his legs.
Yes.
Alright, we're gonna enter the tent.
Team building exercise.
Yeah, team building!
Yeah, basically, the hearse just is passed out. I'm gonna say the sword that he has would be laying next to him.
Let's bring it with us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna place it on, like, I'm gonna, like, pick up the sword and place it on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, like, then grab him from under his shoulders and then, like, but we can just use him as a table for his own sword.
Yep.
I think Zora's gonna come over and just tilt her head like, would you like a hand?
If you'd like to take it for me, that would be nice.
Do me a sleight of hand, whoever's got the highest.
If
What's your sleight of hand?
me, 5.
Yours is higher.
Yeah. But my rolls are lower. An 8.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so like you guys carry him to about the door. So I'll move you guys over.
Yeah, my.
Yay!
So get to about.
I'm having the
Whee!
same problem as. Yes,
Have
oh,
Hirsch in the
week.
middle. Yeah, it's alright. I know what's happening. And you can go there.
I mean, if Zero wants to help out, she can, like, just grab from, like, the middle and then... all
Let's
three
say,
of us
can we
help.
carry it underneath? Because I did offer to help.
You get to
Yeah.
like about the middle, and basically, like, cause you positioned like the sword on him, like his like chest. Basically, the sword just like flops to the ground.
Fuck, shit, alright. 1 second, let's just drop him down and put the sword back on.
Yeah, he snores loudly.
Bloody hell, what did he do? What is wrong with this man's airways?
It's part of being a dragonborn.
I've traded around Dragon Ball. It didn't sound like this.
Could try and clear his airways. By that I mean.
I ain't no medicinal person. I don't know how to do that.
Well, the herbal tea usually works.
Let's get him on the herbal teas when he's awake and not tell him why.
Yes.
Yeah, alright. Next order of business if we're going to be traveling together is for a way to cure
Who
him of
picked
his
up the
story.
sword, by the way?
I picked up the sword.
Alright.
Oh, I was going to say, presumably Azura grabs it and puts it back
Yeah.
on him.
You're at the front, so Lucinia is grabbing it? Or Azura?
Well, again, as I was saying, unless I... Yeah, all good. Yeah, as I was saying...
Yeah, as I say, I understand what you're saying. It makes sense if Azora did, because you guys can still hold the ants and she can quickly bend down and pick it up since she's in the middle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do another sleight of hand as you guys get to the entrance.
There, you can roll,
Let's go.
Dylan.
There we go. Much higher roll. 21.
Yeah. You guys managed to get through the room quite far. Making it to the center, so you're taking him to the darkness room, weren't you?
Yes, the one on the right.
He's just gonna wake up and it's gonna be pitch dark.
Oh, it's lit up in
entering
this
the
room, isn't
is,
it?
Yeah, it's lit up now. Basically entering the room, the Guardians, cleared up, the front entrance of all the stones, and is, slowly making its way over to the room that you guys are in, sees you carrying, the Hirsch, basically does, that rotation thing you do on one foot, and then, continues, walks
Heel
back
turn.
to the other one. Yeah, that's the word.
Perhaps.
We maybe we want to put him further in the room so as it's not so loud near the doorway.
Yes.
Around about maybe
Just put him
Maybe
on
not
the pedestal.
quite on the circle. Maybe somewhere between.
yeah, right on the circle.
Yeah, there's
between
a
the-
load of rubble in this room.
Yes.
Rock terrain.
Perhaps someone should stay here with him so that when he wakes up, he's not.
He's not by himself.
Yes. And not wondering how he got in here.
So who'd be willing to sit through the snores?
Would also leave him a note that say we're just in the other room.
Yeah, that sounds like a better idea.
Sorry, snoring was too loud. We're in the other room.
As
Yes, your snoring is so loud, we
I didn't
couldn't bear it.
No, just on the note it says we didn't want to wake you up. It seemed like you were having such a lovely rest, so we put you into a nice little space.
P.S. Your snoring is freaking loud.
Alright.
Where's my water? Alright.
Let's just put him on the podium, and then tuck him in, and then leave a note just saying, hope you had a nice sleep, we're just in the other room.
So just leaving him a note. Alright. What is Ruby and Black Knight doing then?
Well,
Ruby
is fucking dead.
Yep.
She would just pass out.
I've just gotten confirmation of that.
Oh god.
So if you wanna like kick her from the call or put her into like dead chat or something, so that we don't wake her up during the session. Yeah. But Black's probably just gonna like follow them.
Alright, Ruby will follow as well then.
Yeah. Yeah, just drag us both into the room.
Ruby's just giving everyone the silent treatment because I got the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like she's really annoyed by that, so like she's silent treatment.
I'm like, what did I do?
Ruby is dead. Ruby is gone.
Let's be fair. Azora gave her the chance, but she just was like, "Give me the egg." That's basically what she said.
Put her on this and just like sit there.
Yeah.
So like, would Black sit next to Ruby or go with the others?
Yeah, and Black would like curl up to Ruby.
Alright. So what's the others doing now that they've left the note?
I'm gonna leave the room.
I'm right on her heels, his heels.
I'm gonna put blankets around the door so his snores aren't that audible.
Okay. Do you have any blankets on you, or are you gonna try and?
I'll
Guardian
probably just-
smothers him.
Repurpose the tents outside, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll use my tent and just
see,
roll it up
right.
around the door and stuff.
Let's say do a sleight of hand, I'd say, for this one.
Really?
Yeah, because like you're trying to like stuff it in between the cracks, making sure it muffles the sound.
Yeah.
I did not do well.
Yeah, like you like stuff it in between the cracks, but like the snores are that loud. Like even with like you stuffing it in, trying to get into these small little cracks through the door, like the door isn't that well made for this sort of stuff. So like it's basically like single panel like doors. So it's got like the panel, and like the cracks between those like through time has like worn, so like it's going through those cracks in the door, and like it's just too hard to try and cover up the door and muffle the sound.
Can I get my bedroll and like not in like the cracks, but like over the top of the door? I'll be sacrificing my bedroll for a comfortable night's sleep, but for the good of the party.
Yeah, sure. Sacrifice the bedroll, huh? Yeah.
Because that would be more padding. So
Like there will be a lower, like a higher DC now, because like basically the door's worn.
also a sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic.
Yep.
I did not do well. I dropped my. It won't stick.
Yeah, like
It won't stick.
the door's quite high up, so like you're trying to get it like in the right spots. It's not long enough, and like yeah.
noticing Debru's difficulty with this, I'll lend a hand.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we become friends. It's just our mutual wanting to stop the noise.
So is that Debru rolling with advantage or me rolling as well?
You roll with advantage though.
First one's a 19.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet!
Then we take the 19. Second one's a 13.
Yeah, now that you've like got some help, like it significantly helps. Like you managed to like stuff it underneath the cracks finally. Like
my hands are a little bit thinner than yours, so I can like get just into the.
You can fit it just in the gaps between the like where the holes are in the door. You end up like even like finding a bit of like a stone and like sort of pinning it in the door. Like not enough to damage your like sleeping bag, but like kind of like just on the outskirts of it so you can pin it. But it's only like in the areas that need it. But yeah, you managed to successfully get it up a lot more easier now. And now the sound is a lot more drained. Like, you can barely hear him now.
Oh, thank the gods.
That's much better.
Hopefully you'll be able to get out. I am not untucking this until the morning.
Understandable.
Alright, I'm gonna sleep on some rubble.
Are you gonna be alright, Debru?
Oh yeah, I slept on worse. It's all good.
Yeah, Ruby's like now passed out, like sitting on the pedestal there. Like this raised platform.
Gonna pick up Ruby and like, let's say have we already set up like some beds in the other room?
Like no one's set up any beds in the other room yet. But like Ruby's like basically just grabbed like her like sleeping bag and then just like kind of like slightly covered it over. She's not in it, but like just covered it over her, and like Black Knight, I'm assuming you're just curled up on top of Ruby. But yeah.
I'm gonna open the sleeping bag and tuck Ruby into it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Also gonna drape my other headdress that I've got over the top, like it's like a scarf. I'm gonna drape that over the top of Black Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to find a nice bit of thing to sleep it down. Just flop on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'll just curl up on myself and sleep.
Yeah, like after a while, like the Guardian eventually stumps back in the room, kind of like loudly, but like not enough to wake you guys fully. It's whoever's like just about to drift off, like hears it stomping into the room, walks past you guys, and then makes its way down to like the corridor down here.
Ready?
So, we doing an 8-hour rest?
Yep.
Yeah.
Take a long rest.
Nice. Took a whole hour to get to the long rest.
Yes! We're having the roleplay.
Yeah, we're good at role-playing here. Just a warning, Dylan, we love our roleplay.
I noticed that.
The roles have been played.
D&D is more than just combat, it's also fun and
I
roleplay.
know.
I'm not saying you don't know, I'm just saying that because I like to say it.
Should probably do the same.
On your long rest, or do you need to do
I actually technically did it last time because I thought we were just going to jump straight into it, but yeah. Shit.
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah.
So yeah, you'll successfully have a nice long rest. Throughout the night, like, you probably hear, like, the Guardian walking by, but, like, trying to be careful of not waking you guys up.
Just imagine it trying to tiptoe.
Yeah, like, it is legit trying to tiptoe. Like, probably, like, debris, you get, like, slightly awoken by it. Probably, like, just to go do, like, a pee break or something like
I
that.
don't open my eyes, I just know it's there.
Yeah, you just hear this... choo, 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 as it's just, like, subtly trying to be careful. But, yeah.
I'm gonna let it believe that it's doing a good job.
Both, about the morning, sort of time, like, when it's getting a bit closer, like, some of you start to, like, rouse. Both, Rena and, Russell will, like, basically be sitting there, like, cooking something at the fire. But yeah, what would you guys like to do now?
Black is instantly going to get up, do her normal cat stretch.
Mhm.
And
You've got my headdress on you, by the way.
Yeah. She'd probably like put that on Ruby, making sure that Black didn't wake her up. And then like move quietly. And like go over to see what they're cooking.
Yeah, like, they seem to have, like, a pot over the fire, and, like, it's got, like, some soup in it. Can you do a perception roll for me as you, like, wake up and walk over?
21.
You can hear what appears to be, like, very faint, like, knocking, sort of coming from the side on the right. Like a muffled voice.
Black's probably gonna like look over to it, probably see like all the shit that's on the door, and then go back to the soup and just be like, "It's in the soup."
Yeah, it appears to be a soup that's kind of like a stew soup. So it's got like meats in it, vegetables, and all that kind of stuff. Rena would basically just say it's a stew full of like rabbit and venison and stuff.
Black's gonna ask to have some.
They grab you a bowl, pours it in, and then hands it over.
You know, like put it on the ground to like the cat eat, like all fours.
Like, Russell will be just intently staring at you and just like sitting there like slowly writing stuff down in his like notebook.
She like looks over at him, like a little bit of meat like hanging off like her mouth, and then just eats it and then goes back to eating.
Fascinating, honestly fascinating.
Cat lick across their mouth or something.
Yeah. Oh no, she'd lick her paws and like clean herself.
Like, basically just question marks, like, just like, he seems to be writing down like cat hybrid, tabaxi, question mark, like...
Sentient cat! Was it experiment?
Strange experimentation, maybe? Like,
What if he's got like notes on each one of us? Just like
Yeah, he probably does.
yeah, you can hear this knocking like is frantically getting a bit louder now.
Oh, she'd
sorry,
continue
Nova.
ignoring it.
Azora would go over, because like as soon as like it's like a crack of dawn, Azora would be up, because you know, being a farmer, that's what you do. Crack of dawn, you're up.
Yeah, like basically, additionally to that, in the center where that little like altar sort of circle is, right? There's a beam of light coming down and hitting it. basically, there seems to be now a skylight built into the roof that you guys didn't notice beforehand. That is producing light coming down into the room.
Well, shit.
But yeah, I'm assuming you're just taking off everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that, like, basically, as soon as you start taking, like, stuff off, and, like, you take off, like, you can hear the banging is so loud, and you can hear Verhersh on the other side, like, "Let me out! Let me out!" And as you take away the tarp on the bottom, the door swings open, and he falls over and lands in front of you.
Wade giggles.
You did a good job, at least.
Don't ever do that again.
Wasn't my idea.
Where'd you say you got those? I'm like leaning over to listen here. Where'd you say you got those teas?
Yes. I don't have any with me.
No, I didn't figure. Should we ask the hero next time we're in town?
Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea.
Okay, good. Good idea. Go back to minding my own business, like this conversation never happened.
Alright, I gotta go let the dog out. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, so Zora's probably having a soft conversation with the Hesh.
I like those ones, hun. Yeah, like, the Hirsch will just basically have a brief conversation. I'm not gonna roleplay it out, because I don't want to do his voice and stuff. And
Well, that's why I said she's having a brief conversation with him.
So yeah, Ruby gets up and, like, seems to be still in a grumpy mood, and then wanders...
For her grumpy hug?
Yeah, doesn't even give you a hug.
Oh.
She gives you a look of, like, sort of thing, and then she stumbles outside. The Guardian seems to be basically motionless in, like, the hallway as she's leaving, kind of holding, like, the sword that it had when you first encountered it.
No. Did you guys find anything else of interest in the temple last night? I'm talking to the NPCs.
Oh, right. Rena will look over. Well, we discovered that there was secret passages in the main room where the tree was. They seem to lead to a whole underground complex, actually. Quite fascinating. There was a forge, we believe, that seemed to be able to craft things. We asked the Guardian about it, actually, and they said that it's able to create constructs like it. Which, very intriguing, actually. But, yeah, there was corridors beyond corridors. We couldn't explore it all, as we were getting a bit tired at the time. We ended up coming down here after we went hunting in the morning. And, yes...
For anything else?
No, nothing
services.
too interesting.
Should we be making our...
Sorry, no, we were...
No, you can...
We did discover that this is a temple of Asclepius and Serene, the god and goddess of the sun and the day, and the goddess of the moon and night. Sorry, night.
My knowledge of the gods are a bit weak, but they are dragons in the aren't they?
Correct. They are both dragon gods. So possibly, I have belief that those eggs that you had acquired were perhaps dragon eggs, maybe the children of those gods, but those are my assumptions.
Construct on something about that. Would you mind keeping that part of your research a bit quiet side because of the adventures like those we saw last night might be out there?
Can you roll me a persuasion?
Yeah, this is gonna be great!
Because that's what I said I was talking to them last night about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a researcher, so you are asking me a lot. I do help run a museum, after all.
Okay.
As much as I know it might be dangerous putting that information out in the world, I will think about it.
That's all I can
Russell
ask,
here, on
really.
the other hand, might blabber a little bit, but I'll think about it.
Look, it's alright. Look, it's a very big discovery. I will admit that.
I might keep it to myself for now, but maybe later on
Yeah.
we'll check.
Yeah, it's alright.
A dragon in the world is definitely a big thing, seeing that they've been extinct for so long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Until, well, the Dragonborns came. And then, yes.
Look, it's all good. It's just I'm worried about them kind of adventurers coming in and
Oh, of course. Though, if we saw those adventurers again, we wouldn't let them dare touch them.
yeah. Alright. Does anyone else want to talk or?
Yeah, what's going on with Lucinia? Let's see. Like, what is Lucinia doing, Dylan? Dylan? Oh no, Dylan's now gone. No!
Dropping like flies.
We're dropping like flies now.
Who's next?
Alright, we'll say Black Knight then. What is Black Knight doing? Just still eating the stew, or?
Yeah, Black Knight's just still eating stew.
Okay. Just cat eating stew. Right. So when, like, Zora and Vahersh finish their conversation, what is Zora doing?
Zora would probably come over and join for breakfast.
Yeah, it seems to be a stew of just venison and, like, rabbit and vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that'd be a good hearty meal for her. Most likely, they went hunting occasionally on the farms, so...
Like, a lot of the rooms, but the room of the darkness, like, is now clean. Like, there's no rubble. Like, it seems to be a lot more well lit up as well. But yeah. You guys enjoy a nice hearty stew for those who eat it. I'm gonna mark off a ration for Ruby because she is outside and refused to eat the stew. She hasn't even marked down that she's got rations, so that's entertaining.
I bring a bowl of stew out to her.
Okay, bring us the bowl of stew. She'll probably, like, look at it, give you a look, and then, like, lets you leave, and then she'll start eating it. Yeah, if you guys want to roleplay anything, or we can fast forward a little bit.
I think we should probably head our way back now. We've exhausted this place, I think.
Well, we'll be still here, as we are hired to look through this place. But, you're more than welcome to come back and, help out. If you even talk to our employer, maybe they can let you be hired mercenaries. Help out around the room. I'm sure the Guardian, you've given it permission to protect us, so it will help us clear out any rooms if there is any dangers. But
Look, maybe you should also try and get into contact with us if you have anyone else that you need to have authorization, I guess.
right, and I mean,
Or give
they
them
said
permission
that
to give authorization.
giving us a confirmation to use the ruins and look around, we can apparently bestow
Oh, okay.
that vulnerification, as it quotes.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but like, yeah, I get it. Alright. We'll keep in touch then, I guess.
Yeah, until we meet again.
Right, well, if you ever need us, send a message our way. We should be here for quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, Russell just, like, confirms what she basically said, but he's, like, stuffing his face still, like, he's just like,
The whole thing is just her translating Russell.
Yeah.
For the breakfast, it was very lovely.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, thank you for that, Mita. It was lovely. We'll continue on our walk. Like, the Hirsch gets up and, like, starts making his way outside. You have to get rid of a character instantly.
A DM that doesn't like playing characters.
I'll light up that section there as well. Alright, so what's everyone doing? Heading out.
Ready to go. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'll fast forward a little bit. So you guys all grab your stuff, pack up.
Yeah, what happened to our halfling friend? No.
Halfling friend?
The carriage, the guy, Wyvern, and...
Oh, that one, yeah. So, yeah.
No.
You guys want to do a D6 roll for me as you guys get on the road?
Are we going to the world map, or do you want us to be map token again?
I'm sending you guys to the world map now.
I'm also gonna roll.
Yep.
Hey!
Awesome.
Rolling a 6 isn't always good.
No, shut up.
Ashes, yeah, that's right, I did roll up ashes. Alright.
There we go.
So you guys get about that day out. Basically, you guys walk about. Why isn't it letting me unhighlight that? Like, you guys get to about the day out sort of part. We'll say about this way. Well, no, you guys would probably head down this way because there is a bit of a path that way. You get about the halfway part where you guys stumble upon the wagon that was destroyed by the Wyvern. You can see the blood marks from where, like, the horse was taken. About halfway down, like, the road, you encounter a new scene, which appears to be basically,
That's the lonely.
basically half of a body.
No, Frank.
It would
Do
be
me
slightly
a
delayed this
perception.
time.
No, Frank.
We should have definitely tried to encourage him to follow us, sort of being shit scared of us.
Why did my D&D Beyond sign out? Okay. What did everyone roll?
I got a 10, Azura got a 12, and Black Knight got a 21. Or was it 17? I can't.
Yeah, Azura got a 12.
Yeah, so for Black Knight, you look at it, it appears to be fresh. For Azura, like, you're like looking it over, but you don't realize that it is fresh. And the same goes for Debrew. What was your roll?
Right,
Singer?
lift.
12.
And Ruby and Hirsch. I need to roll for those two. Yes.
What about Luciana?
Ruby doesn't really notice as she's still in a grumpy mood, and for Hirsch, they notice, and Luciana also notices. But like, basically, it appears to be a fresh scene, so clearly whatever did this is still around. For only a Black Knight, you were the only one to see this. In the distance, you see the wings of a Wyvern flying off. Fortunately enough, it has not noticed you.
Like, just gonna be like, oh, let's go quickly.
Yeah, like there's
Oh,
trees around the area, but like it's not dense here.
Okay, I'm just gonna shuffle towards the trees then.
Let's head into.
With your guys' rolls, you would recognize this to be the same sort of clothing that that halfling was wearing.
Halfling's dead. Let's go.
Yeah.
Everybody else running off to the thing. Azura quickly kneels over and does a quick prayer on them before. They're in the trees! Hey, she no scared of the wyvern. Wyvern's scared of her.
Yeah, you guys successfully avoid it because it hasn't noticed you guys. Can you guys roll me another roll? Yeah, you guys managed to make it to Billows Creek successfully. It's a small little town, not many like things, no shops. It's just basically a little inn. You guys arrive and it's probably like by the time of making it through that area, like it was pretty late. You guys arrive in town, it's dark by this point. What would you guys like to do?
Is there an inn or tavern?
Like the tavern looks quite small. Looking at it, like probably only has about 2 rooms.
Yeah, goes over. Azura heads over to the tavern.
Yeah, like inside there is a human. They're basically a young female, just minding their own business as you walk in, and then like they look up and see, oh, adventurers. Would you like a room for the night?
If it is possible, thank you.
Well, fortunately enough, no one's been through. We have 2 rooms. Only 2 beds in each of the rooms. Are you, some of you fine sleeping on the floor?
Yeah,
Hirsch is
that
just
was
like,
sleep on the
I
floor.
don't mind.
I slept on the
Wanna
floor
kick
last time,
dragon
so I'll
parts
do it
time.
again.
How are we separating the rooms?
Imagine Ruby packs up saying, "Well, I'm not with her."
Yeah, she would definitely do that.
I'm gonna grab Lucidia and go over to Ruby's room, so it's us three in that room.
Hmm?
Because the last two times I've been in an inn, I've been with Vahesh in both of them.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing against Vahesh, I just don't like his sleeping habits.
Quite loud.
Yeah.
Yes, Zero shrugs and looks up like lining for Hish. Well, and then it'll be us three. Hish, you can take the bed. I will more than happily take the floor.
I'm sleeping on the floor, you guys sleep on the beds, okay. Good night!
Right.
Oh wait, how much is it for a room?
It would be probably just a silver coin.
Okay. I'm gonna flip a silver coin over.
Yeah, Azora would hand a silver coin over for the other room.
Make sure to mark those off.
I have...
The night goes very well. How are you hiding this egg? Like the eggs, they're in your bags, weren't they?
Yeah, they're in our backpacks.
They're in our bags, but at night, the brood is kind of curled over the top of his bag.
Azora's like cuddling the bag.
I'm gonna roll a dice.
Mm.
The two people taking the floors are the two people
So-
with the egg.
Yeah, the two people on the floor, the two people on the eggs.
We have to sleep uncomfortably so we stay alert.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
True nesting. So we could definitely go to Azura, I think, because she's the first one to obtain them. So, Azura,
Yes.
you have a dream.
Ooh.
And I get to see the babies.
So, to begin with, you sort of are dreaming. You're like standing in pitch blackness. You can only see yourself. And then, kind of as if, like, you can feel underneath you there is hard ground, like, kind of like the flooring of stone. A stone brick, perhaps. You look off in the distance as there is now something rising in the distance. It appears to be a large moon. And then behind it is a sun blaring, creating an eclipse. In the silhouette of this moon, you see what appears to be a pair of wings spread out as a creature flies towards you at an alarming speed, in fact. And then the sound of it getting closer, these flapping wings growing faster and faster. And then, almost as if the wind of it, of how fast it was flying, pushes you back slightly as it lands in front of you. This blackish purple dragon standing, towering in fact, over you. A feminine voice emanates from it. Ah, you have acquired my children, I see.
Yes, if you're referring to the eggs, then that would be a yes.
Yes. I see you haven't got a good form of keeping my children hidden.
Well, we weren't exactly expecting to pick up dragon eggs and protect them.
Right. Like, it basically waves a clawed hand in front of you, and kind of like forming over your like shoulder is this satchel sort of bag that is scaly with like black and white scales, kind of shimmering and changing in color as it like is formed. I'm gonna change the music for this. I'll go probably this one would be the interesting option. No, wait, that's the wrong one. That one. Basically, as it's formed, you can see it creates this white and black shimmering effect of the scales, metallic even. But it's a satchel bag that hangs over you. That should keep them safe from mortal hands. The bag is what you mortals call a bag of holding. I only want to see my eggs in that. Don't store anything else.
Thank you. I promise I won't keep anything else in there. Just this would definitely make it so much easier to look after your eggs.
Thank you. Keep them safe. I don't want any mortals taking them. I know for a fact some are taking them. Or trying to.
And we managed to defend them off. They don't, well, as far as I understand, they do not know about the black one, but they do know about the white one.
Like, she looks towards you. You can now see the eyes almost piercing these yellow glowing eyes. Like yellow amber, in fact. But they pierce into you, looking down at you.
I feel like Azora would meet the gaze.
Yeah. It's very intimidating as you look into it. Almost frightening. That's how powerful these eyes look.
Like, clearly, okay, I'll rephrase. It's more the fact that, like, she's trying to show that, not that she's not afraid, like, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but, like, admiring, kind of, like, admiration in a sense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, they pierce into your soul pretty much. She then finishes off the conversation by giving you this. I, Serene, wish for you to take my children to a temple known as the Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon. Both are on the opposite ends of a continent called Zabras. They are deep within the deserts of the Zabras. I need you to go find these temples, as each of the eggs can open them, only the one associated to that. My favorite egg, the black, can only open up the Temple of the Moon. And Acelipus's can only open up the Temple of the Sun. Go find them It will not be an easy feat, however. And with that, the moon slowly sets and the sun slowly emanates from behind it. And you can see now, behind the sun, a figure. Golden and white scales emanate from it. It looks towards you, nods, and then the dream ends. Unfortunately, the player that I was wanting to do one other dream isn't here. So, we will continue. So, with that, dawn eventually arrives.
I was gonna say, I feel like Azura would have woken up as soon as the dream had ended.
Pretty much, that is how it goes.
Yeah. Azura will, like, be careful not to wake up the Hesh and the Black Knight and gather up her things. Probably look at this satchel that has appeared on her in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it is a beautiful satchel. It's got scales over it.
But yeah, she'd probably admire it for a second and then reach into her backpack and transfer the black egg from the backpack into the satchel. And then she will quietly make her way out of the room and quietly walk to the other room and knock on the door.
You walking past Black?
What was that?
Are you sneaking past Black?
Zora was on the floor, you would have been on the bed.
Just imagining like a cat in the middle of a big ass bed.
Did you want me to roll a stealth?
Yes, please. Because
Okay,
it is wooden floors, and Black would be very alert at night.
That was key.
It'd still be at
Oh, good.
advantage, so you'd have advantage on the roll.
I was gonna say, because, like, I don't mind rolling, because she is trying to not wake you guys up, so...
I am setting a DC, but it would be lower. Yeah.
22.
Higher, sorry.
Black doesn't notice.
Persuasion! Persuasion, Harry!
Why the fuck did I? Huh?
How are you persuaded in your
I'm just gonna-
sleep?
Persuading my dreams.
No, just change the difference, so you rolled a 9 and then add your perception modifier, really, so...
I will
Yeah, it's wooden.
actually. Lucinia,
Yes.
you're here. Good. Okay. I will give you a dream actually before everyone fully wakes up.
Okay.
Because this would be also directed at you. So essentially, for you, basically, you can see in front of you this dark corridor, kind of like a rocky sort of cavern, but at the same time it's forged into what appears to be like a stone corridor. Looking down, you can now make out a scene. It appears to be the Hirsch and those, like, adventurers that you saw beforehand that were attacking you guys. And then the Hirsch is, like, told to get the, like, this particular sword that you've seen him carrying. And as he grabs it, the ground starts to crumble below him. And he dives towards the edge of like this ledge that is now formed, and he basically is now suspended, hanging from this ledge. Basically, holding the sword in the other hand, they seem to ask him for the sword. And then I think it was the female, or was the halfling, one of the two. But basically, they come over as like they go to grab like the sword and stamps on his feet, like his hand, sorry. And he falls into this pit. You then see the dream fade for a second and then comes back, almost as like a fade in, fade out. And then, fade out, then fade in. But like, a new scene lays out in front of you. You can see water and this like single island in the center of it where Vahersh is laying there, the sword laying in front of him. The sword slowly faints gold for a second, and then as it glows, it diminishes, then glows again, but it gets brighter. And as it keeps doing this, the room slowly gets lighter and lighter. And then in the corner of the room, you see it. A large creature, almost the size of a behemoth. Multiple tails, its eyes crying golden blood. You can see it voicing something towards Vahersh. And then he accepts. The creature kind of forms into like a golden line. So, kind of like, what's the word, evaporating into the sword itself. The sword pulses a golden light and then fades to a faint glow. Vahersh gets up, now empowered. He clearly had broken legs beforehand, but it's now healed.
And he left.
Out of the cavern, and then the dream ends.
Sonic,
He left the call.
he left.
It's alright. He crashed, apparently.
Apparently.
Sad.
It's alright, we all heard the dream.
It's no, you'll get that.
It's a great night for us tonight.
Yeah. I just told him to rewatch the stream for it, because I'm not going to repeat it, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, everyone wakes up.
As I said, Azora did all the stuff that I talked about, and then went next door and knocked on the door.
Mm-hmm. Don't you dare, Blue. That's the campaign.
It's not Astrial without Mel passed out.
Alright. So you
Yeah,
guys-
so Azora knocks on the other door.
Mhm. You knock on the other door. What is the others doing?
I am currently still curled around my bag and then just kind of look up
Mhm.
when I hear the knock at the door. And make my way over and let her in. And
Yeah, you open up the door. You can now see, like, basically, Azura seems to have, like, this flashy sort of, like, bag of scales sprung over her, like, arm and shoulder.
I immediately pull her in.
I was gonna say, could I speak with you, Debru, but I guess... Well, I
Is
don't
that the
need
thing?
to.
I close the door, and I'm like, is that the thing?
Ruby's, like, roused by this, rolls her eyes, gets up, and then walks out of the room.
Like is instantly going to notice the shiny and just start like I'm guessing the sun's coming through, like
The
hitting
lamp is in
bag
the
and
other room.
fuck.
Yeah, lights
God.
still in the other room. You can slowly start to wake up and realize
Yeah.
Azura's left the room, but yeah. You won't know where she's gone. You can assume, but yeah.
But yes, Azura will nod at Debru. Yeah, I had a dream. I spoke with her. I spoke with the mother of the children.
Kids.
And of the dragon kids, yes. I spoke with her and she presented me with this bag to look after them.
Is there anything
was-
else?
Well, yeah, she told me where she needs us to take the eggs.
Oh, wait.
We need to go to the Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon. It's on the continent of Zabras, on the opposite side.
I live around that place.
You live around Zabras?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Huh. I guess you can be the local that helps us there then.
Well, I mean, Vihesh might be from Zabras as well. Dream ones are more common around that area. But I have to ask him.
He's still fast asleep.
Anyway, you said Temple of the Sun and Moon. I don't need to ponder over that. Been to
No,
all
no.
temples.
Temple of the Sun, and then there's another Temple of the Moon. They're
I'm
two
guessing they're
separate
separate.
temples. Yes.
Sonic, do I know anything about these two temples?
No, actually. Like, you've probably heard people, like, talk about temples, but these temple names you've definitely never heard of.
Don't know these temples' names. They might have different names amongst the locals around the area, though.
Over there, we may be able to figure it out. She did say it was on the opposite end of Sabras, so I'm assuming opposite end and the way of where we are now.
Alright. First of all, let's get this job done. I'm gonna put this egg into that shiny ass bag. And now you need to hide the bag somewhere.
Oh, that's quite easy. I can just hide underneath my clothing.
Wait. Let's do that then.
It's a bag of holding, so it's a small bag, but it fits both of these eggs and it's weightless.
Oh, okay. Again. We'll tell the rest of the group about this. But we need to make a game plan after we finish this mission.
I think I should put out there that this journey, I'm willing to do it. By the sounds of it, you're willing to do it. But it's definitely something that would have to speak with the others to whether or not, like, they want to go on this journey.
Look, I'm literally just got off to Zabras to try and find my family. But there's the dragons. They're rare as fuck. I think we need to have a good discussion with this group of people. Also, whatever the hell's going on with you and Ruby, you need to put that shit to your side and try and find some common ground with her if we're going to be in a party with her.
If you want me to be honest, Debru, it was a mistake I made. I was just doing a delivery to her home and I accidentally spilt stuff on her new dress, and ever since then she's had a grudge on me.
If it's an honest mistake, then you can give an honest apology to both of you.
I've
If
tried
it's
many times, but she just denies it every time.
Again, we're going to need to have a sit down and conversation about this. She's currently mad at me because I took the egg. Did you guys have a conversation about the egg beforehand?
She asked me if she could hold the egg, and she asked me in what I'd say a rude way, so I politely declined. She didn't lose her manners or anything, so...
Okay. Okay, we're going to have a team meeting about all of this, because if we're all going to be going on this, I have a feeling that we all have been tasked with egg protection. Not just you, everyone.
I never said it was just me.
Currently, you're the only one that has had a fantastical dream and had the satchel. And was allowed to touch them.
Probably because, I was the first one to be verified. That's probably all it is.
Any case, we need to talk about this. We should probably do it not in an inn where anyone could be listening.
Probably a good idea.
Or in a town. Let's do it on our travels, okay?
I will be happy to wait until then to speak about it.
Okay, sweet. Hide that, and let's get everyone up for breakfast and stuff.
Yep. With that, she'll hide that. Start hiding her satchel underneath her clothing, and then putting her battle axe over on top of it as well. She's sort of using the battle axe to hide it even more. Because of course this battle axe is massive.
There.
Cool. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of the room awake that hasn't awakened up because Ruby left the room. Didn't she? Sonic?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Ruby left the room.
to people. Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna try and wake up, gently wake up Listenia. Hey mate, it's time to get up.
Is it?
Yeah, it's time for breakfast, mate.
Alright.
See much?
Yeah, with that, you get up. Basically, they've got breakfast menu currently listed. It just seems to only feature stew. That is it. And for anything else, they do offer bread and stuff, but yeah, just the main thing is stew.
I guess we're gonna have some stew for breakfast and then make our way.
Yep. We'll pay for the stew. How much is the stew?
They'll say 2 copper.
Yep. We'll hand over 2 copper for herself to pay for a stew. I'll mark that off.
Just have to remember. There's my DNA Beyond loads again.
Sonic, did you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking up something for blue. And it's gust hole blue, it's down below. Looked down below on the map, so south of
okay,
Riddleport.
I see.
Yeah, southeast of Riddleport.
Thank you.
So there wouldn't be that many people that know you're around here.
Oh no, I was just checking because like it wasn't at the original place where we said, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
god,
Because I
where is
had to
it?
change up some things because like the forest area for like Philstrand is like basically inhabited by like wild elves.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
Right. So, you guys pay for your meals, 2 copper each for whoever's getting a meal. Additionally to that, how much rations have you guys got left? Because I hope you guys have been marking it down.
I have not.
That's one thing I've been trying to do and I forgot.
Yeah, so it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rations.
Oh, I mean, I don't even have rations in my.
I mean, you guys would have got meals from 3 of those, 4 of those. So 4.
You can
rations.
calculate it later if you'd like.
Try and
Also,
calculate
can
it
you-
in the session planning chat?
Also, can you give the white egg over to Azura, because she's now got both the eggs in the bag of holding.
I can do that quickly. I'll have to create that item later on because it is just a bag of holding. If you want, actually I can create just a bag of holding for you now. Actually.
Bag of holding. Like,
You're holding, but we're only allowed to.
yeah, only allowed to put the eggs in there.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from putting like something else in there, but they specifically requested not to.
Oh, for God, thank you very much.
Holding.
Let's just dump an entire pot of stew in there.
The babies are hungry.
Let's feed the baby stew.
It would keep them warm.
The other one, it's hell.
Done. So yeah, you guys roll a d6 if you're heading out.
Getting it, tell them to let that lunch.
Famous D6 roll.
Yeah, you guys make it to Moorstone. Like, takes you about. I think I had my. Where's my law
A
leisure?
day.
Yeah, it takes you about 12 hours, so half a day. You guys arrive in Moorstone. It's getting towards night time as you arrive, but like, pretty much like, when you arrive, you notice it's like a massive farming town. There's like crops as you guys were walking in. Like you guys would have seen like large like grape vineyards. But yeah, you guys arrive in Moorstone. It's more on that like small sort of like city sort of scale, so it's probably almost a city. But like, yeah, you guys arrive in. It's there's a lot of armored sort of guards walking around. There's still occasional people walking around that you guys can see when you walk in. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of people moving wagons and stuff throughout the place. Probably like as you guys were walking from Billows Creek, you would have seen a couple people pass you guys in wagons carrying like loads of goods, and then people coming from Moorstone towards Billow Creek, and like they would have been lugging loads as well. As you arrive, like, yeah, what would you like to do? I have got a map here.
As I say, probably go and find the lady that we're meant to meet up with. So we can fake the artifact and get out.
Yeah, how are we gonna do that, by the way?
We still have the statue, don't we?
Yeah, statue.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Who says we need to keep that statue?
It's just a glowy statue.
Yeah.
Pretty cool statue. Allows
It's
you
a
to
pretty
cast
cool
light.
statue.
It's like cool enough to pass as the ancient artifact that she was after.
Yeah. I've got to let the dog out again. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Black's probably gonna like sway her tail and like stay in the shadow of everybody.
Yeah, you would be known in this town.
Oh yeah. That's why she's staying in the fucking shadows of everybody. So I'm gonna quickly just.
Also, Debru's gonna lean down to you.
That's a great roll.
That's a wonderful. Fuck.
I'm gonna do a memory check.
By the way,
Okay, that's interesting.
Debru is gonna lean down to Black and just be like, "Hey, can you give me back my scarf? I know I gave it to you like 2 days ago, but can I have it back?"
Scarf.
Yeah, you took one of my headscarf.
Oh, I put that back on. I put that on Ruby when she was sleeping. I don't have.
Okay, you're gonna need to just hand it over, mate. It's my sister's.
That's genuinely what she did. She put it on Ruby, and then so Ruby would probably have it.
Yeah, Ruby would be carrying it then if you've definitely not got it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, if you gave it to Ruby, may I have my sister's headscarf?
Because Black was like basically curled up on Ruby. So
I'm gonna
in
do. I don't know, like she would, but I'm gonna do it just a percentage die using a d20. She looks at you. I don't know. Can you have it back? Like, can I have an egg?
So whistles and just continues walking.
Who's got chicken egg?
But it's just like whistles, continues walking.
Oh yeah, just adding.
I'm gonna look at Ruby with the very, like, betrayed, sad eyes. And just be like, I thought we were friends, but that's my sister's scarf.
Well, fine. And she like hands it back, like not in a harsh way. Like she hands it back, but like it's kind of like that sort of outstretched arm in a grumpy sort of way.
Debru takes it back and puts it around his head, and then like pulls the the hood up so as he hides his face.
See, I told you I didn't have it to brew.
Thanks, Black. And he's gonna now sadly walk into the town.
Knight, can you do me a perception roll?
We get jumped because of night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
What
notice
I-
there's like a small group of guards, like, and they have noticed you guys coming into town, and they seem to be chatting about something. But like they keep looking towards you guys.
Black is probably Can she like read their lips from here about like what they're saying or no?
You don't have the observant feat, so no.
And she knows that she's bad here, right?
Yeah, she would know that Moorstone. She would be known.
Well, known as a bad place to be. Fuck.
For fuck's sake, Milo!
Oh. Who's Milo? The voices
Come here,
are
Milo!
back. The voices are back again. God fucking damn it! God damn it, Asura.
It's insane. Get the eggs.
She's going crazy
The
again.
dragons are talking to her again. One of them's named Milo.
Sorry, Milo's walked in.
Oh my god, can you
Third
please
time.
name one of the dragons Milo?
What's a good
So that we can
First
say
name.
the fucking
Azora has a
damn
voice in her head called Milo.
it. Yeah.
Who just gives like inconvenient thoughts to your head, which is why you always say, "God damn it, Milo."
God damn it, Milo. No, we're not burning the orphanage.
Alright, so you guys making your way into town then?
Black's
Yeah.
probably just gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna just stay out here and hide.
I didn't.
Slice going leggy.
So if you're going laggy.
You turned robot.
Sci-fi. Good boy.
My pillow. Can I get up there we go. Now I should sit on it.
You know, Milo had brought in a stick for the third time.
I thought I got rid of them all.
He found another one.
Oh, Black is gonna hop in that bag and fucking hide. Do I get advantage?
You're hopping in the bag.
Yeah.
He's small enough.
Fortunately enough, when you hop in the bag, you're immediately shoved out. You get the sense, if you do that again, something bad is going to happen. As, like, your fur
What?
is slightly charred as you step
Huh?
out.
No.
No.
The
bruise bag. The bruise bag.
I was gonna say the egg bag if you want to
No,
hop
the
in that
bruise
bag.
bag. What the fuck, Sonic?
I heard that
Bruise
bag for
bag.
some weird reason.
Bruise
Black
bag.
doesn't even know about that bag.
Yeah, Black doesn't know.
It's flashy and obvious, but alright, yeah, fair.
No, it's underneath her clothing.
Sonic.
I'm having a brain moment. Okay, yeah, you can easily fit
It's
in that
not
bag.
astral without. It's not astral without dementia.
Oh,
So the bag of the eggs is hidden underneath her clothing, like she's wearing it directly on her skin.
Right, okay.
Her clothing over top.
Yeah.
So it's fully invisible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys, like, you jump in the bag. I'm assuming you guys continuing moving into town?
Yes.
Cool.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are non-robot.
Sweet.
what did I miss? Because apparently I didn't miss much.
Just no. We're walking, and then Black decided she did not want to be in this town, and we had a debacle over which bag she was actually going in.
Okay.
Apparently, Sonic thought she was jumping into the dragon bag.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't know exists yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, oh boy, if you jumped in that bag.
How would you even jump in the bag? It's hidden in the first bag anyway.
I know. But by golly, I was just about to have a panic attack.
That's because you were listening.
I would have legit been saying, create a new character.
Hell yeah!
And later on down the line, we try to pull the eggs out, and
This
Outcome.
is a
Oh yes, when we
skeleton.
put our hands in, we just come out and our hands are just now sit melted off.
oh, good boy.
So I'm gonna.
Alright, so you guys enter town. What are you guys doing in town? Like, there's guards patrolling through the streets, there's people who, like, seem to be preparing to head to their homes as it's getting now late. I forgot to mark where the taverns are on the map, or if you guys choose to stay at a tavern.
Like he's gonna whisper to Debrew, like through the bag, and just be like, "Please don't let God see me."
I then I then pat the lid of my bag closed and just walk past like casual.
What time would you guys left Billow Creek?
That's
Well,
a
as
good
soon
question,
as we
DM.
finished
What
breakfast-
time did we What time did we leave?
Well, Zora was up at the crack of dawn and spoke to Debrew like as soon as she had
So
moved
6.
the egg.
Oh.
So,
So 7
they,
yeah.
yeah.
7 you guys left, so it's about 7 p.m. then.
Place to sleep before looking for our contact.
But if we went now, perhaps they will offer us a room. I don't know.
I mean,
That was not her voice.
it's late. I mean,
You know who else has dementia? Sorry.
it's alright. I guess we can. I'm gonna like see the guard and be like, Azura, may you ask where we can find our contact?
Vahish knew all the information, didn't he, hun? Because he was the one that spoke to Ellen Waters in that hotel. So would, as I say, would Vahish speak up and say they know?
They said that they were going to meet them in Moorstone. And they have marked on the Moorstone, like, part of the map. Like, so basically they've given you guys a map of Philstrand. And there is a second map of Moorstone. And they've basically mapped out, like, the map. And it's got, like, taverns and, shops of interest. So I'm still marking the taverns and shops. But they have basically put an X over where the walled off building is. So the Nightstone Manor, if you guys look in the legend part of it.
So would Vahish speak up and tell us that, is what I'm asking.
He should eventually speak up and basically say, they marked off the Nightstone Manor. They did say that they would most likely be there when we arrive.
Alright, let's go over there then.
Nightstone Manor it is.
Alright, oops, I did not mean to do that. I meant to grab your...
We have been separated!
Yeah, magical wall of force appears. So I'll drag you guys over. So going through town, you guys walk past a tavern. So the circle buildings are taverns. The ones with the little star symbols are certain shops. But yeah, you basically arrive up to the front gates, where you are greeted by 2 heavily armed guards. So I will move you guys to the map now.
Good evening.
Business?
We were told that the person we were looking for would possibly be here.
Name?
Then
Looks to Vahish.
Ellen Waters? They look you guys up and down. You're the venturers then. In you go.
Thank you.
thanks.
You guys free to move now?
Yay! Whoop, whoop. I do not know how I turned my character.
I
It
was
just
about
did.
to ask how you did that.
I do not know! Oh my god!
There you go. I could do it too, see?
As you guys are walking by, you see a young, like, male human sitting down at a desk. He, like, looks up at you guys, and then, like, looks back down at the book that he's reading on the desk.
Yeah, so Zora would be walking with the brew most likely.
No opening doors. You are entering a private residence.
Who did that?
Just hates.
Why didn't you have the door locked?
Which, yeah.
Well, it would be unlocked, but I'm gonna lock it now.
Exactly.
Where do we go? Where do we go now?
We knock on the front door! Knock, 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 goes Azora.
Yeah. You hear sound from coming in from inside. They open up the door. You see what appears to be a young elf. He looks towards you guys. Hello.
Ambush.
You're adventurers, I'm assuming, by how fancy you look. But what's your business? Are you here for the lady? Yes, we're here for Elowin. Oh, Elowin, right. The madam. Right. Come inside. Like
You.
starts walking. And he walks down this way.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh my gosh, Black, you're in my bag.
I could probably get out of the bag now, but...
I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, because she knows that if she fucking gets out, she's dead. Especially in this place.
Oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit.
So they walk up to the door, they like knock on the door. You hear like from inside some like mufflish voices. And then like basically he swings the door open and then steps to the side like as he enters. You may come in.
Yeah, no, we walk in.
Well, Black is just taking a ride with the brew.
Yeah, Black is being as quiet as.
Oh gee, did you just jump over the table with everybody there, Debrew?
I just launched into the room. Hello. I'm very stuffy now.
A little bit back.
Navigating on a laptop is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
It's like in the room you see the male voice you heard before came from this man. They look towards all of you, like kind of like sizing you all up. Then there is a female sitting next to him, basically looking at all of you guys. And then you can see Elowin, who is sitting across from them. Additionally to that, there is what appears to be another butler. This one looking more regal sort of style, a lot more formal looking. They look towards you all. And then the male, like, noble, like, looks towards you. Well, I'm assuming you're here to deliver that artifact to Elowin.
Yes, we are.
So Sonic, who is
They haven't said their name yet.
Let me
which
know.
one of-
So would Black know?
The voice sounds familiar.
Name. Give me his name, even if you type it.
Do you mean
I won't.
intelligence? See if you remember it. Or recognize the voice.
Intelligent. No, I don't know.
yeah, like the name's sitting on the tip of your tongue, but you can't think of who it is.
like so enthralled and trying to hide.
Yeah.
So Vahish was the last person that had the dragon statue, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Cool. Just double checking who had it.
Like for Hirsch would like basically step forward. We have the artifact. It is here, and like he pulls out the like statue. I'm gonna roll a deception with advantage because I don't know what it looks like. And I'm gonna get them all to roll insight.
Issues.
Roll for them. Jeez, these rolls. Alright. Like, Elwyn looks over at the, like, artifact, like, stands up, like, walks over. Well, it does look a bit interesting, and a statue of Acelipus, I think? The god of sun and day. No, sorry. Day and sun. Well, sun and day? Honestly, it's such a confusing one. But, yes, it definitely is that god. Yeah, the day and sun, that's right. Fascinating, but that can't be the artifact. Can it? No, it can't be. I assure you, it's definitely the genuine artifact.
It's all that we could, like, that was all that was in there when we went through.
So, the dawn of the new age is a statue that... What? This looks nice?
I'm
assuming you guys didn't turn off the glow, by the way. Because it has to be dismissed.
I think Vahish said that they dismissed it.
Yeah, that's right. They did actually. No,
yeah.
Right, well, like, the male, like, noble looks towards it. It does look like it could be the artifact, but it doesn't look magical of any sorts, apart from the fact it seems to have a way of producing light, maybe?
Yes, it does. It can allow you to use a spell. I think it's a spell called Light. I'm not sure.
Oh, so a simple spell of the light spell. Interesting.
It appears to be a much more advanced version of the light spell, though.
Perhaps if you place it somewhere special, it would... I don't know what you're expecting it to do.
Well, I'm just a little bit stunned. And the female chimes in. Well, perhaps you lots want a meal or drinks. Would any of you like something? And Ruby chimes in. Oh, I'd love a nice cold drink, thank you very much. Right, well, Novell, can you please get our guests a nice beverage? Coming up, dear. And like, sorry, madam. And like he goes over to the bar over here and like starts like pouring out wine.
So by then, all of a sudden, I don't trust that wine.
I watch the butler intently. Not the femboy, the old guy.
Yeah, I feel like Azura would be sort of doing the same, in all honesty.
And it was almost an 11. 7.
The elf butler like heads out through like the door that you guys came in from, and like clearly goes off to do some more duties. What was it? 7?
Yeah, 7. It was almost better. Better fucking rolled on, but 3.
Right, and what was Zero?
15.
Yeah, like Azura, you notice a little bit better, but like he's pouring the wine, like it seems to be a fresh bottle, and like he pours out these glasses very delicately, but nothing major, like of seriousness, like no poison, like additions or anything like that, but just pouring.
No
you guys...
weird hand waves.
Yeah, no weird hand moves, sort of deal. And then he eventually comes over and like basically offers you guys your drinks.
I'll take one.
Yeah, Azora will take it. She knows that, kindly refusing would be actually offensive, so she does take it.
Yeah.
Offers you a glass of wine to brew.
The brew takes it and like gingerly sips it. He doesn't actually like wine.
And like it's very sweet, very gentle to the alcohol sort of taste of it.
He still doesn't like wine.
Yeah, like it's very sweet. It is freshly brewed from our local wineries. But that bottle that Norvell just grabbed is one that's been aged for about 30 years.
Could I smell if this with?
Huh?
Could I smell, like sniff the air?
You're inside a bag, so it'd be at
I know, but you know, alcohol is very fucking potent, especially wine.
I could also hold it closer to the bag if you wanted.
Yeah, you're inside a bag that probably has a lot of smells, because I think it was Debris bag, right?
Yeah.
Yep, so it's definitely going to have a lot of smells.
You're saying I don't bathe?
Yep.
How dare you? How dare you? I tell you, I exfoliate with the finest sands.
It's like sand from the beach.
No, I came from the desert. I learned to. There's no lot of water.
They're a nomadic tribe, Blue.
Sand?
No, I know.
So what did you roll?
What did you want me to roll?
Perception, I'd say.
Hell yeah, what do I smell?
Roll with a disadvantage.
Fuck.
I know you rolled a nat 20, but does not mean you get that nat 20, because you still have to roll with a disadvantage.
Gets another nat 20.
I buffed
Rolls in that one.
Ugh.
Alright, so we'll go with the first roll, because that was what you were meant to roll.
You had only had to roll once.
Yeah. But so you sniff the air. You can smell that there's like nothing major. It's a very sweet wine, you can tell that. But yeah, you can't really smell anything that's off-putting to the nose.
Okay.
But yeah, if there was a poison in it, like it would have to be like an odorless one, or it would be one that definitely you could not notice by seeing. You're in a bag, so you won't be able to notice that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But yeah. With that, the butler goes around the room, giving everyone their drinks. Steps to the side again.
Not actually drinking any.
Okay.
Holding.
Yeah, Elwyn eventually takes the statue from the hearse and goes back and sits down with it.
he offer the wine to any of the people who are already in this room?
They've
Or just
already
us?
got like wine, basically. Like they'd clearly been sitting here discussing something beforehand, and so they've clearly had like a couple drinks already.
Can I swap my glass with Ruby when she's finished with hers?
Oh, she would 100% take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like basically the male speaks up again. Feel free to take a seat. Dear, do you want to make sure that the kids have, what do you call it, are ready for their dinner? As they are going out tonight to the restaurant. Okay, dear, if you wish me to. And, you see, like, the, female, like, gets up, like, squeezing past for her, like, her steps back. And then she, like, slowly makes her way towards the door. What's everyone doing?
Azora will go and sit down probably over here.
Oh,
She knows like the manners of etiquette, so if they invite you to sit down, you sit down.
Ruby will like see you go and sit over there, and she like grits her teeth and just like basically walks over and sits next down to like Elowen. Elowen slightly moves over and just like rolls her eyes slightly. It's very subtle, but you guys notice it. Ruby doesn't, but yeah. What's everyone else doing?
I'll stay where I am.
Alright.
Zora gestures to Debru to come sit with her.
I think like the female, like Lucinia, like will see you as like you're sitting there, and she kind of like grabs your hand, like and like suddenly moves you out through the door.
Oh. Alright.
Ooh.
I wonder if they're going to be going to a private VC or is he going to do it in public?
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
No.
But like, she basically like takes you out, like probably about here. You can see like the elf butler that you saw before, and like she gestures to him, and like he heads over to like this one over here and starts like basically dustering, like the feather duster, like the display case there. She leans over and is just like, "So, I've seen that mask before."
Where?
It was interesting, actually. How do I put this? One of our collectors. He collects rare artifacts, and he stumbled upon a mask almost like that mask, actually.
I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Oh, this is no coincidence, dear. I'm quite perceptive on my artifacts.
I suppose you have it here?
Well, I do. It is up in our room, actually. You're welcome to come look at it.
Yeah, Lucinia perks up and like, oh, may I, please?
Yeah.
Like, really excited.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you guys head upstairs. I'll move you guys over. Right, so you guys are distracted over there. I'm gonna go over here real quick with the changeling of the party. So yeah, she like makes her way.
That we do not know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do not know he is a change. They, a
Like they
changeling.
head up. When you guys get up the stairs, you now notice there's like this giant statue. It appears to be like a winged angel that's like holding a nice long sword, like in a sheathed sort of like stance. Yeah, like they head out this way. Like as you're walking, like she has a conversation. I'd two
Yeah.
lot need a place to stay for the night. It is getting late. Our children are going out for dinner soon, but if you want to, you can try and convince Hope. She tends to stay in her room most of the days nowadays.
I'll talk to the others about it.
She like puts a key in the door and then like goes to like unlock the door, and then she realizes it's unlocked, and she's just like, "Oh, I swear I locked this before we left. Oh well." And she opens it up and then heads inside. Closing the door behind and walks over to the display case. So there's like in the top display case, so it's multi-story display case sort of thing. In the top display case, there's like this beautiful elven bow. In the display case below, there is some scrolls and a single mask that is similar to your one. Like, very similar. Well, this
May
is,
I?
preferably not touching, but, you're welcome to look, yes.
What do you know about it?
Well, the collector that we bought it from, they acquired it in a sort of old house instead? How do I put this? There was apparently multiple of these masks, but he took interest in this one and took it with him.
With the scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
are they at all related to the
No,
mask?
those are just old scrolls. They hold 5th level spells, if you were to put it. AKA, like just powerful spells, should say, but like
Yeah.
5th level spells.
Yeah.
I forgot to move the map. There we go.
Just completely enamored by the mask. I'll pull out my book, start flicking through some of the pages.
Yep.
Right. See any mention of like a collector or something. Just nothing comes up.
Yeah, like looking through the book, you can't see any mentions of a collector or anything like that. But yeah.
Or like there's no proper information, but it is definitely how much for the mask?
How much?
Yes.
Well, dear, it's not for sale.
It's a shame.
I am a collector after all.
It's the place that the collector got the mask. Do you know where that place is?
Whereabouts? No, not really. He just said he got it from an old house is kind of ruined. There's multiple masks, but in the area he discovered, it was more so... How do I put it? These marks seem to have an origin of some sort, he's put it.
I can trust you, right?
Well, I would assume so, yes.
I will reluctantly show the journal to her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how much are you showing? Just the whole thing?
Just like small snippets, basically just flicking through.
Okay.
Mostly like the belly stuff.
Uh-huh. Can you roll me a perception then?
Okay. Ooh. Half decent roll. 16.
Okay, yeah. Basically, like, flicking through the book, like, you can hear, in the room below you, like, you hear, like, very muffled voices, like, no, sorry, not voices, single voice, seems to be male, but, like, he's yelling to himself. Oh, that must be, Lucius. He's been very grumpy lately.
What about?
Wants to be a knight, but in Riddleport, and we don't really want to send him out to get the training.
Why not? Is he not capable?
Well, no, he is, but just, yeah. Mother being a mother.
You don't want to send him away because it might be too dangerous. I see.
Yes.
Well, it would be better to send him with your permission rather than wait for him to go off on his own.
Repeat that one, sorry. Went in one ear, went out the other for some stupid reason.
Right. But, I feel like it would be better to let him go with your permission than to wait for him to go out on his own.
Right, well... I do want him to do something with his life. He's a collector like me, but lately he's grown distant, and that's why we're taking him out to dinner. Well, not me personally. We've got Elwyn over, and we are doing business with her. But I would have loved to go with them. A lot of the children nowadays are getting a bit more of a hassle.
Well, it's good to spend time with the people you care about.
But these creatures in this journal and the mentionings of this stuff, it's very fascinating.
Yes, it's...
And it's all from someone who's experienced a lot by the looks of it.
Yes.
Who is this man then?
An old adventurer. I look up to him a lot.
Right. Does it have to mention that he was a changeling?
No.
Yeah.
It sort of hints at it in
Yeah.
like the first
I was
few
gonna
chapters.
say,
Like,
yeah. This mentioning, could he have been perhaps a changeling?
um, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, my husband would be definitely against it, but I've always had a fascination with the changeling race. A lot of them are now in hiding, but...
Yes.
Yes.
Well, as long as you don't mention this to him, then I suppose, yes, he was.
Fascinating. Very much fascinating. I'd love to meet this man, but...
Oh, he is quite long gone.
Ah, of course. Now that I'm reading through it a little bit more, yes, it definitely looks that way. Definitely
Yes.
before the recreation, actually. Fascinating. No, it would be during, like, that period, actually, now I think about it.
Yeah.
It would be just before the war. Right, and the mentions... Actually, this might be before the Godly War. Fascinating. And this... There's the Devil of the East, and then the Devil of the South, sorry, the Winged Devil, and then there's a Leviathan of the East and a Behemoth of the North. Very much fascinating.
Yes. I myself am looking into these beasts.
Right, and they're some sort of elemental beasts.
As far as I can tell.
Fascinating,
Yes.
fascinating indeed. Right, well, we should get going. The children should be leaving soon.
Yes.
And I do want to see them off.
Take as many chances as you can to be with them.
Oh, of course. I don't want to watch them all grow up again and not spend time with them. Faith? Well, Faith is only about... she's 6 now, but... The other two, well, they're the eldest. Faith, she's now almost 30, and then Lucius, well, he's 28.
Are you sure? You don't look much older than that.
So I'm very flattered, dear. I'm actually about 52.
There's no way.
Sorry, no, not 52. 56. I use a certain magic to dye my hair.
I see.
Yes.
Are you sure you're not the changeling here?
Yes. If I could have been, I think I would alter myself to look a lot more younger than I do. Well, let's get going. And she heads over to the door and opens it. Right, we'll head over to the others now that we've had a bit of time with them.
Yep.
So the others are all sitting down. They basically, you guys have gotten for basically half of your wine of who have been drinking it, and Ruby, well, she's already on the second one that she stole from Debrew.
Give it to her.
gave it to her then. But yeah. Basically, this male speaks up again. Well, so how was the ruin that you explored then? Was it difficult acquiring this artifact?
Somewhat. There's a lot of riddles and puzzles to get in.
Fascinating. My wife likes to collect things, so that's why I'm asking.
There was a massive labyrinth, and inside the labyrinth was a couple of spiders we had to fight against. Not your ordinary spiders, though.
Oh, interesting. Fascinating. Yes, my wife collects various trinkets and artifacts. One of her prized collected items is a Thunderstone rifle and 2 Thunderstone pistols. Very hard to come by nowadays. But quite expensive.
So they would be very expensive artifacts.
Yes. Norval, can I please get another drink? I'm finished. Like, right away, sir. And, like, heads off and grabs him another drink.
Just imagine that there's a couple of weapons on us adventurers that would also be...
Yeah, like, he has sized you all up, and, like, he is kind of, like, intrigued in Hirsch's sword.
Because I was thinking you'd be intrigued in Hirsch's sword.
Fascinating sword you have there, Dragonborn. Mine? Yeah. It's mine. I acquired it, through my adventuring. Just gonna roll a deception for that. It's not really a lie, but it's not the truth either. Yeah. Right, well, I could imagine. Raises an eyebrow a little bit. Right, well, Elowen would chime in. So, are you sure there wasn't any other artifacts, or was this it?
That was all. That was all there was.
100% certain? No other small things, maybe large things? I don't know. It seems weird that a statue would bring the new age.
What do you mean by bring the new age?
She looks around the room for a second. Well...
How to flip a conversation.
In my research, I stumbled upon some things. It said that there would come a time where a new generation would be formed and create a new age.
Oh. So what are you going to do with this artifact then if it's going to bring the new age?
Well, that's what I was going to research into later on now when I discovered what I was looking for. As that gives me a bit more clues to what I should look into, as I do have access to some of the biggest libraries in the world.
I don't know, perhaps that statue will lead you somewhere that will help you on that.
Have a look. Can you roll me a deception, please?
I was waiting for you to say that. I don't know if you noticed, but I deterred the conversation.
I know. I'm going to roll an insight now.
Deception. Watch me fail. Shit!
Yeah, like, she's looking at you, like, with a slight raised eyebrow, like, realizing she's caught you in a lie. So have you all got rooms? I'm sorry, Fenry. I should
Down.
be
Down.
the one offering.
Down.
Oh well, Elowen, you're always
She's
welcome here.
talking. Sorry. She's talking to her. She's got this person called Milo in her head that she talks to sometimes. Don't mind it.
Right. That's fine. We'll ignoring it anyway. So, would you like a room for the night? There is inns in town, but depending where you stay, it can be quite expensive for new adventurers like yourselves.
Oh, a room would be perfect, thank you. That'd be muchly appreciated.
We have 5 rooms in total, and they're upstairs. But you're welcome to stay in there. Just avoid Hope. She has her own room up there. Faith too, but Faith's... I don't know where she is at the moment, actually. No, sorry. Faith is down on the lower floor. Just Hope is on the 2nd floor. Other one's got her room upstairs as well, but you're more than welcome to take a room for the night. One of you will... Sorry, there's 5 of you. So all of you will have your own room.
Be lovely, thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, I should probably go check on the kids and see if they are ready for the trip to the restaurant that they're going into for the night. Like
Understandable.
seems to knock on the door over here. You can hear some muffled voices, and then like the door swings open. You see that same male that you saw in the window as you were walking in. He eventually walks past, looks at all of you as he walks past, and then heads out through the main door. Well, if you would like to follow me, I can show you all to your rooms.
Yeah, that's really great. Thank you.
Very much. Deborah's gonna have a cat sleep in her bed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I could set up the bag to be a bit more comfortable.
Mhm.
That'll be later on, though.
Right.
I can't get through the door. Fucking hell.
Azura will nod to Elowen as they walk out.
Yeah, she nods back, but does
But
it
drag
in a
black.
way that is very off-putting to you. Basically nods in that way of she knows you've lied.
Seeing that Azura is last through the door, Azura will just smile sweetly. With a look that sort of says, if you want to know, you just gotta come up privately.
The butler would probably walk out the door and starts to head off. Makes his way down over to the young-looking butler.
Alright, troublemakers, stop it!
What are you guys doing? Okay, stop moving.
Bag is good walkabout. Are you dead?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yo.
Don't mind me, that was just my stomach.
So yeah, you guys head up these stairs. He directs you guys over.
It's a bit misty.
Well, we have Rooms on the right here. Here's some keys for them. Like, hands you all some keys. But you're welcome to head into any of these rooms here. Down the end of the corridor, you'll see a room on the end that is... sorry, that would be closed at this point. You'll see a room straight ahead. Those are both my room, and Elwin's would be on the opposite end. Next to them are the bathroom.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I should ask to brew this. To brew, what's in your bag?
In my bag. Give me a sec. What is in my bag?
in your bag?
In my bag, there is
The cat's bored, so he's looting your bag.
there is a hunting trap, so be careful with that.
Oh god!
Currently armed.
Like, just arms it and, like, puts it on her head, fucking waiting.
Hell, I've got some extra traveler's clothes, some arrows, and yeah, and some rations. I don't have a lot in there.
Thank you.
Like my wallet, I guess, but please don't take my money.
Money? Money, you said?
I mean, if
You're
you
the
like
only
my
pirate-
drink stall, then...
If you do that, you are currently I'm currently keeping you safe from the people that will kill you in this town.
You'll never know if I've stolen anything.
I do not have much. I will know.
You'll never know.
When you have little amounts of money, you will know.
Right,
As long as you keep him in your bag, then it's never technically left your bag.
Exactly.
Exactly. You'll just
It's
forever
just gone
be
from
bound
your
to my
wallet
bag.
to my
Who's
wallet.
taking which rooms? Because I've put Vash and Ruby next to each other.
Can I be next to Ruby, or
Yeah, if you want to be next to Ruby, you can be next to Ruby's room.
which one's that one? Is that one?
Yeah, it'll be this one down here that you just opened the door of.
I'll take this room then.
Oh,
No, that's not a room. Where's the other room then?
Opposite end.
Opposite.
Okay,
Who opened
cool.
the freaking doors?
I wonder who did that.
I wonder who did that.
I'll take this room then.
I mean, hey, at least I know one of the doors is
Good.
locked.
I'm gonna set up my bag so as like Black can peek out of it.
Yeah, like, basically the father noble, like, he'll basically just, like, make sure everyone's in their rooms and is happy and stuff. By the point, like, when he's walking back down the corridor towards, like, his bedroom, that's when you, like, Lucina would basically come out from the room, so I'll just drag you guys out.
Yep.
And then that's when he would notice you guys.
Hello.
Oh dear, hello. Were you showing this one? I was wondering where they were. Sorry, I'm just eating a chip.
Yep.
Yes, dear. I was showing them one of the masks that they have. It's similar to the one that we've got. Right. Well, I'm heading off to bed, dear, so I will meet you in the bedroom then if you're showing them around. Like they squeeze past you.
Before you,
Yes.
where did where are my companions?
Oh, they've
Everyone
all
else.
got rooms. The spare room is on the opposite end of the corridor, next to my daughter's room.
Okay. Thank you for your hospitality.
It's the least we could do.
And I give a nice, polite bow.
Yep. And, like, he closes the door and, like, you hear him walk off.
Well, it seems accommodation has been settled for everyone.
Yes, I'm just gonna walk you, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I assume the room up here is the one that she's offered you. And there it is there. Would you like to come meet my daughter, actually?
Sure. Yes.
And, like, she knocks on the door, and then, like, you hear, oh, I just realised I missed a wall there. He's nodding. There is no wall that was missing there. You hear, like, from inside, come in! And then, like, she opens up the door. Can you... so who's stepping in the room first?
Oh. What is that on the floor?
That's what I'm asking. Who's stepping on the floor? I
Oh,
assume it's the mum first.
yeah, being polite, I'll let the mother step in first.
Dex save. Oh, not 20. That'll definitely make it less painful for her. She steps inside and then, like, basically, like, looks down at the floor, expecting there to be something there, knowing her daughter. And she looks down, seeing all of these little ball bearings on the floor. And she, like, dodges to the side. Dear, you need to clean up this room. How many times have I told you? And what was this? Some sort of elaborate trap that you put at the door? Yes, Mom, I was just, practicing, trapping. Yeah. Right. Well, I have one of the guests here that will be staying the night. She, like, walks over. Hi!
Hello. Is it safe to enter?
You good at dodging?
How about I just do this? Instead, like, I sweep my foot along the floor as I walk in, just sort of knocking away the
Yeah.
ball.
Like, you sweep your feet, like, kicking some of them to the side, and, like, she looks impressed by this, but, like, at the same time, like, I didn't think of that.
Oh, if someone knows that there's a trap there, they'll know how to get around it, typically.
Okay, make it harder
fire.
then. Got alright. Sounds good. I like it. Thank you. I guess it's time to go then, Mum. Yes, dear. Your brother is already getting ready to go, I'm assuming. And your sister... I don't know what she would be up to now. Right, then I guess I'll go downstairs. Nice meeting you. And she, like, bumps past you.
Dear.
You're running down the stairs.
Looking around the room. He seems quite energetic.
Very. Ever encountered a child with the attention span of a golden retriever dog?
No, the people of my home are... They use a lot more focus than that.
Oh, well, that's my daughter for you. She's very, how do I put it, the energetic one.
Yes.
At the age of 2, she was running around these halls. At the age of 4, she was sprinting around the halls, and at her current age, you can see.
What are all these books?
She loves to read, and looking at like the books, basically they're all children's books, drawing books, books to just do with children-y things.
Right.
But yeah, she's got toys scattered out through the floor and stuff.
It was nice meeting her, and
Well, yes, I do
Yes.
have the other children, obviously. I'm assuming, have you met the others?
I do not believe so.
They were getting ready, but I don't think they were ready. Knowing my children.
Should I let you get to doing that then?
Oh, yes.
Making
You're
sure.
welcome to come with me. I don't mind. I like the company.
Um. Yes, I'll join you.
Right. They walk you down stairs, and I'll drag you over. Rip. Basically, as you're coming down the stairs, like you see the 2 butlers, like at the end of the stairs, like basically seemingly having a hushed conversation about like cleaning and stuff like that, and then she like he sees like the older looking one, Norvell, like sees you and this female like coming down. And then gestures to the other side of the house. And then, yeah, you guys head in here. Which seems to be like a large library. Sort of like a study library as well. And she walks you down to here. This is my daughter Faith's room. You can hear a conversation behind the door as she's about to open it. And she opens up the door. And all 3 children are standing there. So you have a young child, which you saw before, which I never showed the photo of. Just going to share. There we go. Which is Hope. So she would name like each of the children, and she like introduces you to them. So you have Hope, Lucius, and then and Faith. And she's like got books scattered all out over the floor next to her bookcase, and then like her mother looks down at it all and she's like, and I guess you've been doing your research again. Anyway, everyone ready to go to the restaurant? And like the female like daughter looks over like Faith, and she's just like, yes, Mum, we're ready to go. We have got ready, dressed, and look all fancy to go out again. For like the 100th time. Honey, you know, I give you the money to go out and spend time with your brother and sister. And at least enjoy and have a childhood. I'm like 30, Mum. Honestly. I should just move out. Like she says underneath her breath. Now, these are my daughters and my son. Luciana, this, children, this is, Luciana. I just realized I never introduced myself. My name's Bella. And my husband, Fenrir.
I see. Well, it is nice to meet all of you.
Yes, it's excellent to meet you as well.
You all look like you're very much ready for a nice night out.
Yeah. Definitely. She rolls her eyes. Like Lucius just looks at you, just like. I mean, the restaurant we usually go to is pretty regal, very noble, and very rich. And we've gone to this many times now, but it is one of the best in the town. As they get their wine imported from the local winery. Did I say it right, Mum? Yes, dear, you said it right. Anyway, I'll let you all get ready and get going then. And they roll their eyes and then they start making their way out.
Have fun. Like the first impression.
Alright, do me a perception. As you guys turn on the spot and start making your way back out.
Bugger me. 6.
Bad roll.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20 for Bella, so you were saved by Bella. Bella seems to be the only one to hear this, and then a couple seconds later, you hear the children scream as something's going on outside.
Monday, Z.
And this is where we're gonna end the streamers.
And yeah.
Yeah, Cypher's.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, honestly.
Because we hear a scream outside, and that's no good.
I'm gonna put you guys over here, and you hear.
My assumption is that party followed us.
And with that, we'll end session there. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao!
Bye, stream!